Your child has level 3 autism. Have a good day. These are the numbers that you need to call. And then they just leave. Welcome to Supporting Autism Mama podcast, where we don't gatekeep our wins as special needs parents. Today, let's talk about our story and how I got here. So it actually all started back in 2019. I was in nursing school, and I remember sitting in a lesson. We were in our child development section, and they had up on the screen a neurotypical child playing and then a child with autism playing. And I remember sitting back thinking, my 18-month-old at home kind of plays like the second kid. And then that just got the ball turning. When I was watching that video, a lot of the things that you see in children that do have autism is a lot of lining up his toys. Vinny did a lot of that. Always lined up the apples on the table, or all of his cars were always in a straight line or color-coded. My 2-year-old now kind of just rolls his car all over the place. Vinny used to play with it just like right there, inspecting the whole car as in all of its parts instead of just what the object is the car. His speech was delayed. He was more and more picky when it came to his food. He was I had to cut his pancakes up into squares. His spaghetti had to be cooked a certain way. It all just started around 18 months, about the time that I saw that video in nursing school. So in our state, we have a program called Parents as Teachers. I believe lots of other states also have this program. But Parents as Teachers is someone from the school district, and they come into your home and they're able to observe your child. The main thing that they focus on, and one of the reasons I highly recommend them to anybody, they focus strongly on developmental goals, which is something that if you have a child with autism or you suspect you have a child with autism, it's something that they're usually struggling in, is meeting those developmental milestones. And really up to this point, you might have heard that word thrown around, but not really understood the importance of it. So if you have Parents as Teachers in your state, I highly, highly recommend. They usually work from kiddos from birth until 5 years old. After I talked with Parents as Teachers and expressed my concerns, she agreed, and she had me reach out to a different program. After we went through this program called First Steps, another great program that allows you to get therapies from 0 to age 3 for free, regardless of income or economic status, which I love. After we went through these programs, we did eventually go to our provider, and our physician did write us a referral to go to an autism clinic. After 6 months on the wait list, which really is a very short time from what I'm hearing, after 6 months on a wait list to get an official autism diagnosis, we did. My now 8-year-old, about a little over 2 at the time, was diagnosed with autism level 3. Of 3 different levels. It's either level 1, 2, or 3. And basically all that is like a coding thing that they use for insurance. So Vinny is a level 3 requiring substantial support. So basically all that is a code in the computer. It tells insurance, hey, this kid's gonna need a lot of therapy. So if you get a level 3, it does say severe. It's okay. Everything's okay. It's fine. It's just so you can get more therapy services. Fast forwarding, I then had my son Maxwell. I knew what signs to look out for, and I still didn't really suspect anything until he was a little over a year old. He was kind of playing like his brother, but I just assumed a lot of it was learned behavior because of the way that Vinny plays, and that was his only brother. However, we were sitting in an appointment, and I said, you know what? He doesn't say any words. He's like, I'm sure that he says words. Put a piece of paper on the fridge and just write down on the fridge every time he says a word. I put a piece of paper on my fridge, and a month later, it was still blank. I had already been an advocate at this point, went straight to my physician and said, hey, I'm seeing the same signs that I saw in my then 2-year-old, in my 1-year-old. Would like to see if we could get a referral for another diagnosis. And he was able to get that done for me. And then again, about another 6 months on the wait list, and I was able to get an official diagnosis for my son Maxwell, who's now 6 years old. And Maxwell also received a level 3 severe. Also had a code in there about being non-speaking, which just tells them that, hey, this kid's gonna need a lot of speech therapy. You're sitting in a room that's similar to like if you're going to the doctor's office. So you go into the doctor's office, right? You're sitting in there waiting for a provider. A team of providers actually comes in to give you your autism diagnosis. So a team of provider comes in, they assess your child, they ask you a million different questions. They usually take your child then and they go and like really play with your child and see what developmental milestones where they're at, where they're lacking, where they're struggling, etc., etc. After they've played with your child, they bring your child back and they leave the room. When they come back, when that team of providers comes back and sits down with you, is when they give you the diagnosis. You receive your diagnosis, they hand you a packet of paper. I got a packet of paper about this thick with a list of to-dos about this long and a book. They hand that all to me and they say, okay, your child has level 3 autism. Have a good day. These are the numbers that you need to call. And then they just leave. And your whole world is turned upside down. Initially, it's okay to almost go through like a mourning process. I think I did that with each one of my kids. And not to say that they were any different, because Vinny was Vinny from day one. Maxwell was Maxwell from day one. The diagnosis did nothing to change that. But at the time, I was seeing all of the things that it was going to inhibit them to do. And I think that happens a lot when you're newly diagnosed. And that's okay. It's okay to know that from now on, instead of taking my kids to like soccer practice or baseball practice or football games on Friday nights, we're going to OT, we're going to speech. And that's not saying that down the road they're not going to be able to do those things, but that is my reality then, and it's my reality now. And it's something that is a hard pill to swallow when you're a parent and you have all these ideas in your head about how being a parent is going to go, and then your world just gets turned upside down. It's okay to mourn that. It's just a change. It's just a change in course, and that's okay. You're able to come to terms with that. You're able to readjust. You're able to learn your new normal, recognize what your new life is going to look like, and then adjust accordingly. And now those adjustments never stop. We're still doing those monthly. We have new adjustments and we're like, hey, we need to reroute here. This is not working. We need to reroute here. This is not working. We will do that for as long as we need to do that. But it's not something that happens overnight. We received our diagnosis in 2019. If you're watching this in 2025, and we still reroute daily. So that's just a part of this journey. It's really just a part of parenthood. I had a lot of people on the outside looking in. A lot of people suggest, my son or daughter was kind of quirky growing up, but everyone gets a label these days. They were just insert name here. Vinny is still Vinny. Maxwell is still Maxwell, even with the diagnosis. Do you know what a diagnosis did for me though? A diagnosis opened up a huge door for me. It allowed me to receive lots of resources that I needed at the time. My parents raised neurotypical children. And so for us, even though I have an amazing support system, you only know what you know. I needed help from outside sources that I wasn't getting at home because I didn't know what I was doing in the beginning. After receiving a diagnosis, the number one thing I highly suggest you don't do is to Google. Especially with autism, Google is not your friend. You are welcome to message me with any questions that you have, or any other moms in this little community that we've built. I suggest not to go on Google and Google anything about autism. The reason I started supporting Autism Mama, main objective was to support other parents like me, because they give you a to-do list, they give you all these therapies, they tell you to sign your kid up for 40 hours of ABA a week, OT several times a week, speech several times a week. My kids were still in the early childhood stage. Get them into the special education program in my early childhood. That is a lot on a child. That's a lot on a parent to just go and do. I dove into every book I could. I dove into every podcast I could. I dove into everything that said autism or occupational therapy or speech therapy or behavioral therapy. I had my hands on all the time, and I was finishing up my bachelor's in nursing. I did not have a free second, but I needed to learn everything that I could. And so my goal in starting supporting Autism Mama is to be able to bridge that gap for you. I only know what I know, but I've learned a lot in the last 5 years, and I would love to share that with you if it makes your journey any easier. I would love to also be able to connect you with other moms or other parents that have gone through this process and have learned stuff along the way, because they have probably learned stuff that I don't know as well. I would love to build a community and to build a place that people feel safe and they feel heard. There's a lot of places, a lot of little corners on the internet, and I hope that you can find comfort in this one, because this is something that's near and dear to my heart. It's something that I work with every single day, and it's something that's needed. We need support, because sometimes even our friends, and then even sometimes our family, with the best interest in heart, they just don't get it. And I want you to find a home here and a place and find someone who gets it, because I do. I've been there, I've been you, and I'm sure that a lot of the things you're experiencing, we've experienced as well. And if not, I bet someone here has experienced what you're experiencing. Not be able to go to all the play dates that people have set up, to not be able to go to story time because you're afraid your child's gonna run for the street as any free second that they have. Sometimes that can be very isolating and very lonely, and this has been a good outlet for me. It's been a good relief for me, and I hope that it does the same for you. The last thing I just want to leave you with is you are your family's advocate. That's before they've received that autism diagnosis, or whether you're 5 years down the road like we are. We never stop advocating. We never stop fighting. So keep up the fight. You are their advocate. You know them best. So that's my story, and that's my why I'm here, why I'm going to keep showing up every week, why I try to show up every day on social media, is because I want to build a community and help other families just like mine. If you liked this episode, if you found something helpful from it, then please give it a like. Consider giving me a follow. Next week, I'll share 5 things that I wish I knew before we received our autism diagnosis. So if you have a friend or a family member who is in this process, please share that with me or share my page with them. It might be something that could benefit. Stay strong, mamas.